Partner Maliciously complies to my profile pic request. This is a more light-hearted post, so please enjoy. Me, 29 female, and my partner, 28 male, had been together for about 2 years at this point, back in 2017. And he had a penchant for posting Facebook profile pictures that were not him. He'd post a meme, or a video game character, or something in that nature, primarily because he had so few pictures of himself, and also because he was just a little bit of a jokester. Now, I'd taken some nice photos of him and us in those 2 years, so I suggested that his next profile picture, since he was looking to change it, be of something I tagged him in. Of course, I'm thinking it'll be some cute couple photo, or perhaps a photo I took of him. Next time I was on Facebook, I saw it updated his photo, and it was a picture of two pizza pies. We'd gone to this restaurant about 3 months prior, and I tagged each pie with our names to signify who had ordered what. And playfully confronted him about it and had to admit that yes, he'd taken my suggestion to the letter. It stayed his profile pic for a year. Ed, wow, thank you all so much for the awards and upvotes. I'm glad to have shared something that may have brightened your collective days, especially considering how bleak it all is out there right now. Some people were interested in what we got on our pizzas. It's a pizzeria in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, NYC called Barbaniso. I got the margarita pizza, and he got the supersetta picante pizza. And too, I just noticed the giant post header once I linked the restaurant, so I decided to unlink and edit the above just in case that's a rule violation.
Want me to BS a review to get more business, have fun losing money. Several years have passed since this incident, and the people involved have either forgotten about this or don't lurk around this subreddit. Either way, names have been changed for privacy reasons. Background. I was working as a contractor for a big firm where clients go to for specific services, and then we are assigned to that company on a subcontractor basis. The firm charges the clients an arm, a leg, and a kidney or two while paying us a tiny, tiny percentage of the sales. Business is business, and I can't complain about that. When it's time to renew the contract with the client every 3 months, we are supposed to write a review about what's going on and what should be done in the next term. Now for the story. I worked on that project for 2 months, and I had a very good relationship with the employees and their CEO, and everything was peachy until my company wanted the client to pay double for additional services, and wanted me to write a bogus review stating that their current situation was absolute crap, and they should go for the new and improved plan. Moreover, I was supposed to do it by 7 p.m., 1.5 hours away, and it was my day off. I was in the middle of a trip with friends, and I said, "No, can do," and hang up. It was Friday. I didn't check my emails until Monday morning. Guess who woke up to 17 emails from the company and from my client? I checked the client's email first, and the CEO had personally emailed me asking what was going on, and why was my company pressuring them to sign a new contract when the old one was still active. I didn't say anything and told him that I'll check it out and get back to him. Not a minute passed before I got a call from my team leader. TL, why didn't you write the report on Friday? On my day off. TL, you should be available whenever we want you to do something. What if I was sick or in the hospital? What would you have done then? TL, but you were not, and we expect you to do as we say because you are bound by employee rule book. As you may know, I'm not one of your employees, but a contractor. We have specific dates and times we work, and you can't just call me on a day off and ask me to work out of the blue. That would be against my contract with your company. By the way, since the client's current contract is still active for a month, the review has to be written after the contract ends, not before. It's even written in the contract you signed off. TL, I don't care about semantics. Write a review by the end of the day. I'm not going to BS the review. TL, you have to do as we say or else you're fired. Malicious compliance time. He said I had to write the BS review but didn't mention anything about the real review. So wrote the real review, and under that I wrote, "The review Mr. Blank asked me to write," and wrote the BS review. Sent it to the client and CC'd the TL. All the other contractors, the execs, and anyone who had the faintest idea about the project. I wish I was there to see their faces when they received the email. Best part. They tried to fire me but couldn't due to the terms of the contract. So I had no work, but full pay for 4 months. My PC was locked, so I went to the office every day, brushed up my resume, and started sending emails all day while having free coffee tea. The client I was working for hired me the next week as a freelance consultant. I was getting double the income, both for 4 months, and stopped going to the company altogether. The CEO was a powerful guy, and he immediately sent an email to all the businesses he knew, and no one renewed their contract, resulting in a net loss of a couple million a year per company. I heard one or two companies took them to court for falsifying reports, but not sure what happened to them. TLDR, company asked me to write a BS review to scare a client into paying more for the same services. It cost them dearly in the end.
Downsized and told to take all my personal stuff. Will do, boss.
I worked for a multinational company 10 years ago.
As the regional management running a two-way radio repair shop on the customer's main site.
6 direct report techs and an admin assistant.
The techs rotated, but the admin assistant and I were there every day. Because I worked 105 to 250 hours every month in that office for 160 hours of salary. I had a few things there, as you can imagine. To 0.5 years into working there, I had annoyed my boss and lost the company lotto.
So I was one of 4 people he downsized that year. I expected it months earlier when he let the first one go. I wasn't going to work worrying about it.
One Monday, my fresh tech was late and not answering his phone.
And comes in 90 minutes late with my boss and HR in the vehicle. Guess today's the day.
As part of the exit interview, they get to all personal property.
Well, boy, time for some fun. Most people have 1 box. I ended up with 5. Coffee pot, toaster oven, microwave, my coveralls, and boots. They tried to keep those, but I never submitted a bill on my shelf of notebooks. Nothing was ever filed physically in my desk.
My toolbox of electronics tools,
Soldering iron. By the time I was done boxing my stuff up, there was 2 well-equipped desks of 4. No microwave, a 40-cup coffee pot, and no USB serial cable to connect to the battery conditioner. Found out from my admin assistant that my boss had to spend just shy of $1,000 to re-outfit the shop that week before going home.
The LDR boss failed to realize how much I had brought to outfit a shop that I spent 50 to 60 hours a week at. Had to buy it all himself before he left the site because the techs were pissed off.
Need me to adhere to the dress code right now or enjoy the fallout? I was reminded of this story from my work by one of my coworkers. It's been maybe 5 to 7 years since this happened. Where I work, there is a semi-strict dress code that needs to be adhered to, so we look presentable when going to customers' houses. The minor details are more or less negotiable depending on who's our manager that day. We have a normal manager we see almost daily, but if he's off or it's a weekend, someone else subs in. The day this happened was a Saturday and our regular manager was off, so the duty manager for the day happened to be Mr. Hardess, whom no one liked, and he made it his life goal to make all the techs miserable. When we walked in the door, we had to pass through the manager's office to get to our meeting area. My coworker Tim, name changed, walked in the door that was to the manager's office, with everything looking right on his uniform but his shirt untucked. The following conversation took place. Mr. Hardass, your shirt should be tucked in. Tim, absolutely, and I will do that when I set my gear down and go to the bathroom. Mr. Hardass, no, you need to show up for work ready to work, not show up and get ready on my time. Tim, okay, let me set my stuff down and I'll go right to the bathroom and tuck it in for you. Mr. Hardass, no, you're going to tuck it in right now before you walk another step into my building. Tim, right now. Mr. Hardass, right now. So my coworker did as instructed, unbuttoned his pants and pulled them all the way down to his ankles, and proceeded to smooth out his shirt and then reach all the way down, and pulled his pants all the way back up and rebuttoned them. From there he immediately walked outside and called the HR hotline, and told them his manager on duty just forced him to undo his pants and semi-strip in front of him, in his personal office, and wouldn't allow him to go to the bathroom to tuck his shirt in. that he felt weird and uncomfortable to be around Mr. Hardass and didn't know if he had any ulterior motives. None of us are privy to what exactly happened from that phone call on, but we do know that he got laterally moved from being a tech manager to the safety team, where he was no longer in charge of any subordinates. I'll make an edit to iron out some details or important things I forgot. Our job is very much union-based, and as such the union book is the law of the land, so language and actions have to be very specific as to not draw ire from the union or the business. Tim was raised in a union household by someone who was very involved in their union, so he has a very keen knowledge on how to manipulate things well within the trappings of the union handbook. He did this whole thing not next to the boss's desk, but within line of sight of the door coming in and the door to the meeting room, so there were visual witnesses from the meeting room and people who trickled into work behind him who literally walked through the entire ordeal, so there were plenty of witnesses to corroborate.
You can suggest new voices in the comments.